Welcome back to Let's Play Mass Effect. We're on the planet Metgos. We're in the Hydra system of Argos Rho. We're here because we got a distress call when we scanned this planet. But notice there's no entry up here. Yeah, there's something down here, which means we already have had this assignment in our journal all along here. Though when we picked it up, which was the hack at Udina's office, it was called Unusual Readings. So already we're a little bit suspicious because there's one thing a distress call must do well, and that is to be detected as a distress call, right? Even if everything else, if all the details about how much damage, how much time you've got, is all indecipherable, you've got to at least be able to be detected as a distress call, so somebody comes and gets you quickly. So we didn't know that until now. So yeah, I mean, if there is somebody here that is surviving the level 2 hazard, they probably can wait a little bit longer, right? Alright, let's make sure we're leveled up. Let's get Kaiden's biotic skills wrapped up, which is great. And now we can work on stronger neural shock, since I'm skipping that. I hadn't seen Garrus for a while. He's been stuck in that cargo hold. Let's finish up snipers with him. It gives us 20% damage, 30% accuracy, which is nice. His passive skill gives him more damage and accuracy too, so why not? One thing we've been kind of ignoring is sabotage, but that's because Kate and I both have it, so it's been safe to defer for that for a while. Also, if you noticed in the last episode, one of the things I did was I was extolling the virtues of the high explosive 8, but I actually forgot to equip it. So not sure if I'm going to use that here or not, but in case I do, it's always nice to be ready. Alright, so the signal's coming from here. Kind of an easy way to get there from the landing zone. So let's kind of take a more roundabout approach and approach from the back. Slightly more tactical maybe? I don't know. Anomaly, debris, and there's some ore over there as well. Alright, let's go. This is a very familiar Turian wreckage. And we have a corpse here too. Turian insignia. While searching the wreckage, you found a very old letter stamped with the Gothis colony insignia. Unfortunately, the text is indecipherable. Yeah, we have Garrus in the party, which means if he can't read it, nobody can. Alright, notice the meter there. It's going up pretty fast. So yeah, level 2 hazard, you have about 25 seconds before you start taking damage, so definitely want to find Devlin if you've got it. Because we do. We don't have any for Garrus, but have a slight Survivor 6, which means I have to give up one of these upgrades too. Let's go ahead and pull the medical off of him. Keep the cooldown improvements from the kinetic buffer. Alright, Kaidan. Thank you. Notice now the meter comes up a little more slowly. It doesn't go away. But basically what the Devlin does is it turns a level 2 hazard into a level 1. Also notice it takes at most like 3 seconds to cool off again in the Mako. I don't know how that works, but I'm pretty happy it does. Alright, let's check out the debris next. Alright, found a crashed probe. Yay, with a medical exoskeleton and kinetic coil. Let's see. Yeah, see, that would give us both medical and cooldown, wouldn't it? So yeah, put that on Kaidan. Basically, his previous 2 upgrades have been merged into one with that. That's pretty sweet. Alright, there's an ore right around here, I think. And though you might be tempted to go straight there, that little section of terrain, that is really steep. It's pretty frustrating. I'm just going to round it. Found a big pile of solidified mercury. How does that work? Alright, that leaves just the transponder signal. Though there is another ore that's nearby, but it's really easy to spot from there, so...
There's the downship. This must be the place.
Careful, Commander. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, Garrus, what gives it away for you? Is it the fact that there's nobody here to rescue, or is it the anti-vehicle mine underneath? I mean, we got the Zawin. The only thing we found there was a blue beacon, and that turned into a geth trap. I mean, at least that had some subtlety going for it. Here, looks like Saren either hadn't figured out subtlety yet, or he's throwing subtlety out the window. I'm not sure which, but yeah, we're not falling for this. I do have to say, even though I don't care for Metgos very much, you know, as a planet, I am a little nostalgic for it, because if you watched Anya's playthrough, she came here first, right off the Citadel. So she was level 12. This was a pretty tough little assignment here. And but we figured it out, and so Daniel, of course, shouldn't have as much trouble with that. Of course, the moment you get that complacent about something is when you die, so let's be ready for we're assuming this is going to be a geth trap, and of course it is. So let's put ourselves in tungsten. Keep Caden in that armor, of course. We're going to do some of the fighting outside. And he's in cryo, which is fine. Garrus, we put all those points in the snipers. Let's go ahead and set it up for the fun way to play. A couple of rail extensions, put a 6 and a 7 in there. And why not? Maybe we'll get lucky and actually see somebody fly into space once. Eventually that's going to happen, but we'll see if that happens here. And I think you're otherwise going to be fine. Let's also make sure we're all in the right gun. Looks like we are. And let's save, just in case we die.
It's a trap.
Luckily that mine, which does explode if you get too close, doesn't seem to do any damage. I've never seen it do any damage here. Alright. I kind of need somebody to sabotage him too. Oh, we did see... Alright, he didn't go flying into space, but it toppled him right over.
That's it. Bag him attack.
Which is pretty neat. Alright, now we should be able to start hacking.
Finally, some action.
The nice thing about this little valley over here is you can actually see who he's shooting at. Looks like the two armatures are now fighting each other. That's handy. And yes, we do have to keep our eye on the meter. But luckily that 50 seconds makes a big difference. Oops, alright, they're not hacked anymore. And luckily 2 seconds is all we really needed to cool off again. That is handy, you have to admit. Somebody just died. Oops, chasing after us again. It's the hack's worn off again. Look at all these tech mines that my squad mates weren't able to actually launch or land properly. Yay! Alright, that should be it. This should be just the armature left. Nice job. Phew. Yeah, The environmental hazard does add an extra element there, but at level 1 it's not so bad. Alright, so I did see the journal update, which means this assignment is now complete. Since we picked it up early, it's way down here. The distress call from the down med ship turned out to be a trap set by the geth. Surprise, surprise. Fortunately, you were able to survive the ambush. Did we pick up any gifts? Okay, not stuff we needed, but it's alright. And there's that ore. Large spots of thorium. Alright, so we're done here. Let's put Caden back in his Titan armor. Do I want him to keep this medical exoskeleton? No, actually I'm going to give this to somebody else. So I'll put him back into both kinetic buffer and medical interface. Yep, that should be fine. Alright, so yeah, one thing that I noticed, no, that wasn't the screen I wanted, was that we didn't get a new assignment related to Tali here, did we? So that means these geth here were not sufficient. They weren't the geth she was looking for. So yeah, this appears to be another trap set by Saren. So it looks like he was chasing environmental hazards as places for these traps. He picked a cold place and a hot place, expecting that, you know, because geth obviously wouldn't care. I mean, as long as they don't melt, they should be able to operate in those extremes pretty well. And it should be a tougher fight for anyone coming in here, but it looks like we were able to handle both cases there. Alright, let's get back to the ship. Alright, and since we didn't level up down there, that means we don't have to run down to the store. And I didn't really pick up anything I really wanted to drop on anybody. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. There's one more thing to do here in Argos Row. Actually, there are two more things to do, but one of them I'm going to skip. You probably know which one it is I'm going to skip. And we might be looking at it right now. So yeah, this is a unique system, the Phoenix system, because it actually has two things you can do here. So yeah, first let's scan, but yeah, I'll talk about why I'm not going to do Pinnacle Station in a moment. Start here at Patashi. Patashi is a sun-blasted terrestrial world whose atmosphere was blasted away millennia ago by the star Phoenix. The surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of iron with deposits of tin. Due to its relatively low density, Patashi is tightly locked to Phoenix. Seas of molten light metals cover much of the sunward side. Presumably this is an average temp across the whole planet, and the backside should be really, really cold. So yeah, overall it's still really hot. We found a deposit of samarium. Did I see a blinker? Yes, I did. This asteroid is emitting a weak intermittent signal at a frequency of 1540 megahertz. So, I mean, well, let's do this first. Prothean data disk recovered. During a scan of the Phoenix system asteroid field, you detected an odd energy reading that Tali determined was Quarian in nature. She led a recon team into the asteroid field, where she discovered that an abandoned freighter. The team could not determine why the ship was there, but they did find a Prothean data disk on board. So I assumed that this frequency of 1540 megahertz was the Quarian thing, but I mean, I'm curious, because I actually don't know whether this is just a random number they picked as a Quarian frequency, or whether this is like one of those kind of numbers that might show up over and over again throughout Bioware games. Something I might... I mean, I'm not going to search for that, but still, it'd be kind of neat if it was. Anyway, next is Silsalto. Silsalto is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant and has no remarkable features. It is a pretty green, well, at least when viewed up close. Oops, and I went too far. Alright, Tun Tao is where we're going, so we don't need to check that out yet. Alright, so next is Pinnacle Station. The asteroid-based Pinnacle Station was originally constructed by the Turians to function as a concealed command center during the Krogan rebellions. It has been retrofitted as a military training facility for all high-level special operations teams employed by the Council. The station's combat simulator allows teams to train under a variety of hazardous conditions. There's 1,200 that live on this relatively small rock. But no, we're not going to even board it. There is one cool thing about Pinnacle Station, that is when you do board it, if you're right in that entrance foyer, if you turn to and look out the window, you can actually see the Normandy parked at the door. Which is really cool. I mean, it's almost a pity they didn't show you actually walking through the airlock there and into Pinnacle Station. I would have liked that very much. But no. But still, it's neat that you can see the Normandy there. Vibonok is a small terrestrial world with a thin atmosphere of krypton and xenon. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of carbonaceous material, water ice, and low-density silicates. Rare but concentrated loads of light metals have been deposited by asteroid impacts. One hemisphere of Vibonok is covered by surface deposits of oxidized copper. Approximately 270 years ago, a Turian bulk gas transport was attacked by pirates in the Phoenix system. Damaged, it made a rough landing on Vibonok. The heat of the landing melted significant quantities of surface ice and ruptured shipping containers. Shipping containers spilled locks across the surface. Before this evaporated and escaped Vibonok's weak gravity, it reacted to cause the widespread rust. Interesting. I don't know what LOX is. Capitalizing it. It's either an acronym or a brand name. It's not raw salmon, right? I don't think so. It's also quite cold here. And last is Entice. For an atmosphere similar to Earth's made Entice an early candidate for human colonization. However, prohibitively high temperatures and an arid climate have proven a hindrance to terraforming and agriculture. A few human cities were founded, but the majority of the human population on Entice remains scattered across the vast deserts, operating wind farms and geological research stations. So what's the deal here? 47.8 Earth years and 46 Celsius. It's actually closer than Vibonok, right? Vibonok was 90-something, 94.5. And Tuntau we'll find in a moment. So, for some reason, this was drawn in the wrong spot, right? Doesn't make any sense to have it way out there. My guess, here's my guess. Pinnacle Station is tied to Entice, so, when it's time to develop it, they decided to include this planet. Maybe it was tacked on here. Maybe this planet wasn't originally in Phoenix, but rather than put it where it belonged and adjust everything else, they just tacked it to the outside. That's tacky. Yeah, it's actually, as it should be. I mean, it's cooler here, and it's because it's further away. So, anyway, Tuntau is an enormous low-density terrestrial planet with a thick atmosphere of methane and helium. Despite being nearly 20 AU from Phoenix, the star's great heat and the insulating thickness of the atmosphere make the surface surprisingly temperate. The crust is mainly composed of sodium and silicon dioxide with deposits of various light metals. While Tuntau is not habitable, the relative pleasantness of the surface conditions make it a popular location for small ships traveling through the Argos Rho cluster to land for drive discharge. And yeah, it's pleasant. It's a little, just tiny bit cooler than Earth. Alright, so we're definitely taking Rex. We know this is his mission, where we're going to find his armor down here. And my notes originally called for Liara, and that's because Liara has Singularity. And you can have a really fun time down here with Singularity and Overload, and we're going to see if we can make that work again here. Though I have Singularity and Overload, so I don't need Liara for this, so I can take someone else. Who haven't we seen in a while? Yeah, we haven't seen Ashley in a while. Let's just take an extra gun, why don't we? I don't know why. I always forget that happens, and it makes me laugh each time. Okay, we're here to pick up Rex's armor. Happy to do that for him. But we're going to do that in the next episode, of course, and we'll level up Ashley while we're here. Probably Rex will need a point spent too. Alright, we'll pick up the story from right here next time.